there, this is Vaini. Today I'm going to talk about 10 mistakes that I've made while writing my first book, and I hope it can help you to avoid some. I know the world is a little bit crazy now because of the coronavirus. People have to stay quarantined and be locked down, and suddenly people have some time for themselves. And a lot of people, they start to write their first book. I have a few friends who are in this project, and they ask me advice on how to write their first book, what mistakes they can avoid. I've made a lot of mistakes while writing my first book, and I really hope that you can avoid some, because it will save you a lot of energy and time, and I hope what I've learned from my mistakes can help you realize your dream of writing your book sooner. Thank you. Sorry, I live in the countryside and it's just so noisy, cars passing by, motorbike, but also the frogs are singing and the birds are just over there. Okay, advice number 1. Decide the main factors of your book. What is it? A novel, a memoir, a self-help book, a how-to book, a fiction, etc. In what language? In which person? What is your style of writing? Will it be humorous, informative, narrative? Who are your target readers? What your book can help them? What impact your book can make to them? What do you want to achieve with your book? Think about it before you start. When I was writing for the first time, I didn't consider too much of it. I was just so desperate to tell the story, and I wrote in first person, I wrote in Chinese, I wrote in 3 chapters, and I spent about 2 months entirely doing nothing, just writing, but writing in vain. Not in vain, but writing towards the direction that it won't work. So when I finished the whole book in 2013, I wrote about 100,000 words in Chinese, about 400 pages in A4 paper. It turned out to be too long. I didn't like it. It wasn't what I want, and big no. That was because I didn't consider, I didn't decide and think about the main factors of my book. Second advice, think about the structure of your book. How many chapters approximately you want your book to be? You can find your favorite books and then check the structure of their book to see what you like. I'm sure you will get some inspiration of the structure. When I was writing my book for the first time, I wrote it in 3 chapters, which might be too long and intense for the readers. So when I rewrote my book in 2018, I decided that my book should be around 20 chapters. So each chapter will be one main topic, and there will be around 20, which made it super easy to write. 1 chapter, 1 story, and I just focus on what I'm going to tell in that chapter. So the structure is very important. Advice number 3, word counts matters a lot. When I wrote my book for the first time, I wrote so much. I just didn't stop writing. I wrote about everything, all the detail and all the background story, blah 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 blah. So when I finished exhausted in 2013, I didn't like it. If I don't like my own book, who is going to like it? So, in 2018, when I was rewriting the book, I set the word count to be around 50,000 to 70,000 words. There would be around 20 to 25 chapters, so each chapter will be around 2,000 words. And that made it very easy to set the goal. Advice number 4, write what is only important. Don't write things that doesn't serve your book. Consider about the readers. So when I was writing for the first time, I just thought too much about my own feelings, my experience. I just couldn't help writing all the details and all the little stories that happened. Advice number 5, have a writing process goal and stick to it. This is very important. When I was writing my book, I had a goal to finish 1 chapter or 2 chapters in 1 week, since I was writing full-time. Sometimes I can finish 1 chapter in 1 day when it goes so well. The normal ones are 1 chapter in 2 days or 3. Sometimes when it's very difficult or when the chapter gets a little bit longer, it can go for 1 week or even more. I had a little notebook and I would write the date and how many words I've written on that date. So each day I would see the progress of myself, and then little by little, and you would see on this progress, and it makes you so happy and motivated to keep on writing. And it's very important to not cut the flow. If you don't have time to write it full time, you can make a goal 1 day 2 hours, or 1 day 1 hour writing, and every day 500 words, or every day 1,000 words. I don't know, every week 3,000 words, or every week how many pages. It's very important to keep the pace and not to cut the flow, because when the flow is cut, you need a lot of time to get yourself into your book and then keep that flow going. When I was writing my book, it went so well in the first 20 days. Every day I was just so productive, and then suddenly the house that I was renting needed a renovation, and I had to stop for about 2-3 weeks, and after it took me about 10 days to just feel that flow again. It's very important to keep the pace, keep the rhythm, and not to cut it. Advice number 6, think how to keep the interest of the readers. How to tell the story in a more engaging way. How to make your readers feel what you feel. How to transform them into the situation of the book, as if they are traveling with you. Nobody wants to read a boring book. There is no bad story, only good stories that are not well told. 气死我了! I just realized that the camera was off and I had been talking to it for about half an hour. Okay, smile, smile, smile. Advice number 7, have people to keep up with your writing. Read it and then get opinions, or even they can help you to correct it. Imagine that 3 people tell you there is something wrong with your first chapter and that you might need to do some correction. Very likely that something is wrong. When I wrote the book for the first time, I just wrote by myself. I didn't send to anyone. I finished it and it was not good, not at all. And when I wrote for the second time in 2018, I had a few trustful friends. I sent them my writings after I finished each chapter and asked their opinions. Also, when I finished the draft, and I was with 2 friends, and for about 3-4 days, I was reading the whole book to them, and they would listen and give opinions immediately on how they feel about certain things. Maybe this should be changed, maybe this should be deleted, maybe here I need to add something, etc. It helps so much to make the book better. Advice number 8, be patient. Don't be too hard on yourself and learn to take little breaks. The biggest lesson I've learned writing this book probably is be patient and don't be too hard on yourself. I finished the first draft in 2013, which turned out to be something that I don't like. I tried to edit it for 2 years in my spare time. Whenever I touch it, I feel like, oh, it's difficult. When I gain enough strength to do it again, and then it just didn't work, and then I feel bad about myself again. So it was like that for about 2 years. And finally in 2015, I decided that, okay, I can't do it, not now. Just not the right time. I have to be patient and wait. I just put it aside for 3 years. And finally, in 2018, suddenly I feel that it was the time to write the book again, which made it so easy to write, very smooth, and I enjoy it so much. Yeah, if it's not going well, probably it's not the right time, but please don't give it up and remember it. Remind yourself that there is a book that you want to write. There is a book that is waiting for you to finish it. Yes. Don't let it be in the computer for 10 years, 20 years, halfway down. Never give up. Don't give up. The book will thank you because they really want to be out there. Advice number 9. Reach out to traditional publishing before self-publishing. If you think that your book has a big potential, that it might be a big thing, try traditional publishing first because it will help your book to go further. If you have a big fan base on social media, probably self-publishing can be successful, but traditional publishing is still the way to go if your book is really, really good, in my opinion. I don't regret self-publishing it. I just think that it might be even better than if I do it in a traditional way. Yeah. So think well. The last advice I can give would be enjoy the writing process. Enjoy it. Wow. I think one of the best periods of my life was when I was writing this book. It was such a simple joy. So every morning I got up, I make some tea, I put on my favorite music, and then I have some breakfast and sit in front of my table, start writing. And when the sunshine was shining through the window and was shining on me, it was just magical. Writing a book is like a journey into yourself. It's not only about what's in the book, it's also the time that you get to know more about yourself, even though there will be hard times. But the moment when you have your book in your hand and the moment you finish writing, you will feel that everything is worth it. Writing a book is like having a child. Yeah. It's beautiful. Tractors passing by. Okay, that's the 10 advice that I can give you, and I hope that it can serve you in some way. And if they really do, please write to me and tell me that it helped. and I will be very happy. Thank you. These are my little treasures. Okay. Bye-bye. See you.